Walker. I'm an instructor here at the Largo campus at AIB Schools. And today, what I'm here to share with you is one of my favorite techniques for my curl friends. So this color technique, I call it the leafing technique because it's inspired by a leaf, and we're actually going to use the form of the leaf for placement. So that's why I call it the leafing technique. But this technique is for my color shy guests and my curl friends. So if they're looking for a color that is going to be really dimensional and yet subtle and give them different options with from part to part, this is going to be a great option for them. Because as we know, everyone's into wearing their natural curls these days, but we don't want to create a lot of damage to our hair. So we don't want to do a whole lot of lightening because we know that that does create a little bit of damage in our situation. So as you can see here with this color placement, it's really living here right in the top. It's still in all of the curls are still very vibrant. The technique is really awesome, again, for preserving that look and being easy to manage. So from part to part, they'll be able to get different dimensions, whether they want a subtle look or if they want to have some more pop. So I'm going to get right into it because I don't want to waste any time showing you this great technique. So it's a two-step process. So it's going to be highlights. I do want to say that this process is only going to take 10 foils tops. So it's going to be super awesome. We're going to start with our sectioning. First thing you want to do is find where your guest likes to naturally part their hair. So that's what I'm going to do first, is go by their natural part. So if they want to be in the center, they can. If they want to be to the side, they also can. And what we want to do is we want to make a little zigzag parting, just like that, straight the way, all the way around. Okay, and what this is going to do is going to create a veil, okay? A veil so that they have, and what a veil is, it's hair that's not going to be processed. It's going to give that guest the option of, again, that versatility that we spoke about. And we're going to do a nice little section right here to part that off, okay? And as I said, we're going to go with our leafing technique. So we're going to see how everything is about little triangles and squares. Curly hair is it has a lot of movement. So you want to kind of stay away from too many straight lines because the hair is it has a lot of movement in its texture. So we want to keep our sections with our zigzag parting. And we're just going to go and tear around again. Until we get all the way to the other side. Okay? So we're going to take that section and we're going to clip it away. I also recommend, as you see, my curl friend is nice and straight. So the reason that you notice she's blown out and she's just nice and straight, because we're going to be using lightener. We don't want, when the hair is in curly formation, sometimes you're not able to evenly saturate each section and each foil. So it's better to start out with it nice and straight. So just a nice little blowout. You don't necessarily need to go in with, any kind of iron work or anything like that. That might be just a little bit too much heat for this process. But a nice, good, firm blowout will be great for the technique. All right, so I'm just going to continue that all the way around. All right. So now that we're all sectioned here and ready to go there, I just want to stop and take a moment because I'm going to have my assistant grab me some foils for my table. I want to just show you guys, this is the after. Once the color is complete, I want you to notice that you have some versatility here. So when you're parting, It's only going to take 10 foils for you guys, as I'm going to show you that on the second part. As we are parting, I want you to notice all the different looks that you can get. So if she's going somewhere, and again, she wants her highlights to pop out and show itself, she can easily have this beautiful effect here. However, if she wants to be more subtle, over here is where I placed her parting. So as you see, when we part it, now those highlights are all nice and subtle. So she's going to work or somewhere where she just wants to be, you know, nice and soft and sun-kissed. All she has to do is go back to her veil that we parted in, and that gives her that versatility. But if she wants to do a major side part or a side part more on this side, there's those beautiful highlights coming out to play. All right, so I'm going to show you guys with this one as well how we're going to apply the color. But first, let's go ahead and section off. So once your highlights are done, we're going to section off again in our zigzag partings. We're going to section that off wherever we can see our highlights are, because this is where our toning is going to start. Okay? So I'm going to do one nice big section for this one. And then I will show you as we go along some options you have with your placement. Okay? So we're going to put that in real quick. So that's for our toning. Okay? So this is for after. So let's go back to our foiling process. All right? So I'm just going to mix my lightener really quickly. I'm not using a whisk on purpose because I do not want to create a whole lot of oxidation in my lightener, okay? And as you know, what makes your lightener work is your developer. That oxidation is what helps it get started. But it also is going to control your speed of how fast you want it to lighten, not how light it's going to be. So for me, I'm using the Flash Lift, and this product only goes 7 levels. So when you're doing this type of technique, especially because we're actually going to be going with the colors of this leaf, I do not need to have my curl frame go really, really light. We know that the lighter that it is, the more damaging it can be. So we just need a little bit of tone. So again, this is a great technique when you're trying to just do the least, not do the most, right? So we're going to come over here to the front, and I got my first section out. All right, and it's about a comb's width section in spacing. All right, I'm going to go in, you can choose to do a really tight weave, or you can do it kind of chunky. Because we're not going to be doing a whole lot of foils, I'm going to do it kind of chunky because I want it to pop out and show itself when necessary. Okay, so we're going to go in, and we want to make sure that we have full control of that hair. Okay, and we're going to lay that foil down, transfer over, hold our foil nice and neat so that it's not to slip away from us. Okay, and we're going to go in with our lightener. Okay, and when we come up closer, we're going to come in and make sure that we give a nice soft application to the closer you are to the root, because we don't want to see any hard lines on our wavy curly hair. But as you can see, the saturation is very good because we don't have the curls curling on us, so that we can be able to apply that beautifully. All right. So we're going to fold that in 3 times, and then we're going to fold it in on the side. All right. So I'm going to actually make sure that I glove up because we know that's super, super important. I got so excited to start. I'm like, woo, let's get it. But now we got to make sure we put these on so we can protect our hands. All right, so we're going to go into our next section. Again, the goal is to use the least amount of foils as possible. So I'm going to come in here again. taking my combs width section off of my zigzag parting, and I'm going to go in and choose to do whatever I feel as far as, you know, this can be very organic. If you want to do a tight weave to a chunky weave, it's all about what you want to see, right? So we're going to get that in. And for me, because curly hair has movement, it is not necessarily my goal to go directly or get as close to the scalp as I possibly can. I want to still have her curls to have a lot of movement, and I want this to look very sun-kissed. So not really trying very hard to try to get that too close. I want to have a little bit of space between her scalp and where the lightener begins, just for more of a sun-kissed organic look as far as placement is concerned, right? So we want to make sure that we do that. I also want to point out, I kind of went with a fall set of colors. Again, it's going to be mimicking the color of the leaf as my pre-done mannequin has. But you can do this technique with any colors you choose. Again, make sure that you're maintaining that combs width sectioning, because again, we don't want to be too aggressive with our curl friends. We want to make sure that we give them as little damage as possible. So as you can see, I'm in the back of the hair. So on the side, you're going to have 2 foils. Okay. And obviously it's going to change by the diameter of your guest, your curl friend's head shape. Okay. So if they have a wider side, right, you're going to have to still adjust your sectioning and foiling to what their head shape is actually like. But generally, this technique is easily accomplished with 10 foils or less, okay? So it's more likely that you do less than do more. Let that be your goal, all right? So this also can bring a great offering to you in the salon. Your guest comes in, it's the holidays, she wants to do something different. And again, she's color shy. She doesn't know, like, if she really wants to commit to any, you know, really like having a full head of lightener. And her most important thing is keeping her versatility of her curls. And we know that sometimes if you over process, you can easily end up with where you're losing your curl pattern, okay? So we don't want that to happen. All right, so you would just continue on your journey here. Okay, and again, I'm on my last foil on this side, and my next section is going to basically mimic the same thing, right? So I'm going to go in, do that foil, and place. All right, there we go. And one last foil here, and that's it. Okay, so you would go through your next quadrants, and you would do the same technique again, okay? So just working around the head, just like so. And again, being very organic with your placement as far as how big or how, whatever size you're gonna do of your weaving. So I've got 2 here, 2 back here, and 2 over here. Okay, so my next section, I'm gonna do the same, but as you can see, the sectioning is becoming smaller and smaller. So I might only do 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. All right, and then in my very last section, there may be at least 2. Okay, so I think you guys can figure that part out. So I want to be able to show you guys the color, the toning placement. So also with the lightener, I want to say what volume you use. Again, as we talked about, it all depends on the porosity of the hair and all that, and how fast you're going to be moving. Again, just 10 foils, so you could really use 30 to 20 volume, okay, to create this look. So I'm going to mix real quick my colors. I have my 3 colors here. Okay, so as you can see in this area, this is the done look, the pre-done. So you can see that it's nice and gold in the center, just like the leaf. And then it starts to go more burgundy towards the outsides. Okay, so it's literally mimicking this flower. So we're gonna, or this leaf. So we're going to do the same thing here. So this one, this formula I'm using is a 5VR. So it's the darkest of them all. I'm going to start there because that leaf gradiates from dark to light in the center. So this is going to be there. And then The next one is a 6RV. So you can see I'm still in the family of the VRs, but the VR is going to be darker, and now I switched it around and it's RV. So this is going to give a lot more brightness to complement my 7, I think it's 7GO, which is a yellow-orange color, okay? So that's going to be my final placement there. All right, so we mixy. Okay. So now when we go in to do this portion, I'm going to start in the back of my section. And again, I wanted to show you guys in the very beginning anyways, that as you see, even though we've lightened it, this doll still has a lot of its curl. So if you're doing this properly, we're not being too aggressive, you're going to find that your curls are going to withstand and be beautiful. All right, so when I take my section now, you can take more of a curved section, because when we did our placement, we zigzagged, so that zigzag life is going to still be there. Right, so when I'm just trying to apply this now, I can do more straighter sections because I'm really just trying to get to those lighter pieces. So I want to make sure though, again, because at this time, I want to make sure that my hair is towel dried really well, right? It doesn't have to be dry, but it could be, because we know the drier it is, the more the hair will receive the color. So maybe after you shampoo your lightener portion, maybe you put her under a hooded dryer just to get her a little bit more dry, or you can just do it with the towel dry. That just needs to not be sopping wet. So we're gonna apply that there, okay? And then I'm going to, and then if you wanna see some of that on the sides, you can go through, and this is where you get to be creative, okay? Because just like the leaf has it all the way around, you can't. I'm gonna go just halfway. I'll start on this way, so, oh, I don't have any over there. So on this side, I'm gonna just go right in here and do a little bit of this 5VR, okay? So that there's some of this depth down in the bottom. All right, limit yourself. Like I said, it's tin foils, so I'm only using a ½ ounce of product here. So again, not only is this a great treat for your guests, it's really cost effective for you as an artist. Less product that you're having to spend, and you're still going to get such great results. Again, making sure that we're going in and that we're getting a really great saturation on this product, on this hair. Okay, and I want to get a little bit more here. Okay, so in the front area, you have to decide, like if you're wanting more of the lighter color to pop up there, like I do, I'm gonna leave these couple of little pieces that are there. I'm gonna leave them untouched because I'm gonna leave that for some of the 7GO. So she has some lighter pieces right by her face. Okay, so once I've gone around once with my 5VR, and I'm gonna make sure that we pull a little bit down here, so we get some of that on the side as well. Okay, I'm gonna come in and get a little bit more of that product. Again, I'm just aiming to get those lighter pieces that we brought up there, so she can get that pop of color in the front. Again, pick colors that match your client's personality. If they're not really wild and, you know, fun like that, then stick to maybe more neutrals and browns and golds and things of that nature. Okay, but if they're willing to have a little fun and let you do a little bit of this orange or red type things, it's just in between their hair. It's going to balance and look beautiful. All right, so that's my 5VR. So I'm done with that. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to choose to make a little horseshoe section around for my 6RR. Now 6RR tends to make things really pop. It's a beautiful crimson type color in the hair. I love to see it. So, and it's the holiday season, so why not, right? So we're gonna come in and bring that lovely 6RV into play. Make sure that you get even saturation and we get these thirsty ends, because we really want them to pop and look really great and give this color shy friend a little taste of color. Now don't be surprised after you do this with your guest that she doesn't come in and go, you know what, I'm really excited about this color experience and I would like to try more, because that's what this is about. It's about giving them choices and opportunities to try something that maybe they never tried before, or to have a slightly different look that they've never had before. So it's something that is really, really fun, and it's a joy for me to do, because I love to just give that guest that type of experience, to have something that they've never had before, right? Because you really don't know until you try, and then you get into it and you're like, oh, okay. I'm going to recommend my guests some great take-home products, right? Because as a curl friend, we know that the hair tends to be drier, all right? And that lightener is going to make it a little bit more dry. That's, again, why we're only doing 10 foils, and we're not going to create too much of a challenge to that hair. But we are going to recommend our guests to use more of a hydrating product, okay? That's also in their styling as well, because if you really want this to be vibrant and look good, we want to make sure our styling products are not drying us out either. So Redken is a great line, and they have wonderful products, and also Mizani is amazing for curls. All right, so, and then look how fast we're able to do that. Now this is my last section, and this is all going to go to my 7GRO, or GO, I'm sorry. So we're gonna go in, make sure I mix that really good. We're gonna go in, and because these colors are very similar, I'm just placing them down, right? So some of you, maybe you want to be more comfortable and you're like, I'm gonna put a foil in between those colors, but I'm not worried about it because they're in the same family and they're not gonna mix together with the way that we're placing them. As long as you don't massage them in together, they will not disturb each other's piece. So you are free to just lay that product down. Okay, so going in, chasing down those lighter pieces. So again, this is something great for our color shy guests that really want something new, improved, new year, new you person. They want to be ready for the fall time, the season happening, and they still want to be able to be soft and supple at their times as well. So this is one of my favorite go-tos for my guests, to give them something new and awesome. All right, and just a further tip for you. If you do this and your guest is like, oh man, I really love this, but I really want that, I wish it popped a little bit more, like maybe they liked it more than, you know, the subtle look. You can always go over with a top coat of a semi-permanent. So like a Pult Riot, like, you know, they have the lava, or you got your fireball you could use for your red. So there's just so many options, and you could go back through and apply it just like this over top, just to give it a little bit more of a poppy, more edgier look, more brighter look for you. If she goes, man, I like this, but I want a little bit more. You never know. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with going in and doing that. All right, and as we're getting to our last section, I hope you guys really enjoyed this application, and I think it's super easy for you. So I hope that you will try it on a friend. Try it on somebody or a guest, someone who's interested in something new yet subtle and versatile at the same time. Also, don't forget, yes, I've been mentioning curl friends a lot, but this can be for anyone from straight to wavy. They can enjoy the same technique as well. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and hopefully you learned something awesome. Have a beautiful day. Bye.